Welcome back to the Sentinel, also known as the Little Lighthouse. Don't forget to check out part 1 to see the first half of the build, including the 2 other bedrooms and the kitchen and dining room. In this one we're going to be working on, first, the teen bedroom. This one, oh my gosh, I want this bedroom so bad. It's like the color scheme that I'm super into right now. If you couldn't tell, I keep trying to use it. It's going to be like the soft coral blush pink and a deep evergreen. Oh, it's so nice. Anyways, the idea was that the bedroom was painted pink when the teenager was a child or a toddler, and they made it more sophisticated by adding in darker colors like the black and the dark evergreen color, and they work so nicely together. But this teenager is a bit gloomy, a bit moody, as you tend to be when you're a teenager. At least I know I sure was. So it's got touches of darkness, I guess, for lack of a better term, around the place, and little teenagery touches, like there's going to be some shoes at the end of the bed and a little clothing rack for her favorite clothes at the end of the bed. And yes, this one I saw in my head as a girl, but you go ahead and make it a guy if you really want to. Whatever you feel like. And this bed had a canopy too that I figured was probably from childhood days, because, you know, any little girl, well, not any little girl, but lots of little girls like little princess canopies over their bed. I know I wanted a canopy for the longest time. I think we got one for a while and then a cat destroyed it. I grew up with cats, obviously. So here you can see the evergreen coming into play a bit more, and there's a clothing rack and the shoes underneath it, and here's a really cool closet kind of thing I did, for lack of a better closet option. And here she has a rack, or not a rack, a cart, like that IKEA cart, to be her bedside table, which I thought was cool because then you could roll it around wherever you want to go in the room. She might be a bookworm too, because there's lots of books in here, but she doesn't have to be. If you don't want her to, that's okay. And her alarm clock is all the way across the room, so that she has to get up out of bed to turn it off, because that's how it would work for me. Actually, I had to have my mom come wake me up when I was a teenager because I could not wake up. I was really bad with sleeping in. So here are kind of the dark, moody touches, including that little skeleton painting to add a bit more of the darkness into the room. And she's gonna have a cool terrarium here that, it looks so sweet. We have to hide a shelf in the desk to make it sit nicely on top of the desk. And more books? I thought there was another plant there. We'll see. There's another plant. Maybe? What did I do? Anyways, that's how it is. Yes, 1, 2, 3, because things look better in threes. And some cool mirrors here. There's that aged one, and later we're going to layer in the store content wings one. And then some black and white snapshots, because that's very teenagery to have. Ooh, and a camera in case she vlogs or something. You never know. Or just, records her life. And then there was that weird gap there in that closet thing that I made. So I decided to put some art in there, because I thought that'd be cool to have a little peek of art. And then, realistically, a teenager would probably stack a bunch of stuff on top there. You wouldn't be able to see back there. But it was a bit harder to do. I don't think I had a thing that was one more slot please thing. I don't think I had one that was the right height for that. And then these little lanterns that are perfectly color coordinated with the room. That'd be so hard to find in real life. You probably would have had to dye these. And the string lamps. It's very teenager. I like it. I wish I was a teenager again. I could have that room. And then for the door, I think we do dark green. And for the windows, I think we go with black instead. Though it could be dark green too. I don't remember. It's been so long. Oh, now we're in the loft. So the loft is going to be the family room, the rec room, whatever you want to call it. It's going to have the TV and the video games, and it's also going to have a toy box and a costume chest for the child. But you could replace that with oh my goodness, I just realized there's no computers in this house. I was about to say you could replace it with a desk with a computer, but wow, there are none already in this house. So you might want to do that. Or you could just give the people different laptops that they could use around the house wherever they want. We have some nice toys stacked on top of that shelf, ones that are a bit nicer to look at. At least I think that duck is super cute. Some custom content little toys too, like that little Play-Doh cupcake set and some blocks. And I think also, a little tea set. Super cute stuff. Anyways, I need to stop saying cute, because that's now my new word. There's also a little bookshelf in the corner to make, the whole space So video games, movies, bookshelf, toys, and then just a nice sectional that I have no idea how they would have gotten actually up there. They would have had to have created quite a system to do that. Oh, this is the powder room downstairs. Powder rooms are so boring, so sometimes I save them for pretty much last. But this one gets a nice blue and white kind of theme. So it goes nicely with the kitchen, even though it's not quite accessible from the kitchen, but it's next to the kitchen, so it matters enough. And it's going to have the same things on the counter as in the master bathroom, and I didn't realize that until I was editing this and went, whoops, but they look nice together, so it's okay. And then these tiles, I figure maybe they were original tiles there and they sponge painted them over to give them that cool textured look. Maybe they used to be a different color and they added in the blue when they renovated. That's the word I was looking for. And here for the fireplace, you get this nice stone on it, and we just have to get the right tone to go with the fireplace nicely. And that stone is also going to go on the outside of the house too, on the first floor. And then for this room, since it's connected to the dining room, I wanted it to have the same color scheme as the dining room. So it's going to have that kind of olive green and some dark orange and some purple, which is a really strange color scheme when you think about it. It's all of the secondary colors, so they all work nicely together at least. It has a little bit less of the purple, I think. I think purple is not as major as the orange and the green together in both of those rooms, but they work nicely. I like that wall color with that rug. That looks nice. I should do that again, maybe. But this room, since they have the loft, this room is a bit more of a formal space, so there's no TV. It's just sitting around, and there's a bookshelf, and then there's going to be instruments in here because I figure maybe one of the parents or some of the kids or something are musical. So I think I put the bass in here and the violin is store content, I'm pretty sure. And then there's going to be a piano in the house too, but you'll have to see where I fit it in later. And we put a rocking chair in this corner just because I like the shape of that one, which I think is also custom content. Yep. But it has a really neat shape to it. It looks kind of like in between modern and old, and I don't know, it was really cool. I had a lot of trouble finding out a good pattern or texture to use on it where I could incorporate different colors. I think we end up with that purple with the specks of light green. It's a little strange looking, I have to admit, but maybe it was in their younger days of questionable design choices. And then we have that mid-century kind of bookshelf in the corner of the living room. You can see it there, to go a bit more with the mid-century rocking chair and mid-century sofa that is across from that bookshelf. There's the bass. Thought about putting the piano there, but decided against it because it was a little too squashed in there. And now we're just going to put some pretty stuff all around. So, lighting, of course, is super important. I don't think maybe I end up staying with that one. Man, I need to have a better brain on me. And that, I don't think we keep that there because I already have that in the kitchen. Did I repeat so many things? I'm pretty sure I did this build like actually in 2 or 3 chunks. So I would build some and then leave it for a few weeks and then come back and build some more, because I was in that stage of not quite having enough inspiration to do all of the things. And I really like that coffee table in the middle, but it was taking up too much space, so we go with end tables instead of a coffee table. Give the room more freedom to move. Yeah, and found some nice purple flowers to go with the purple in the color scheme. And lots of plants in here too. But plants, like I said, a little bit more alive in your build. I feel like... Oh, and there's going to be a camera on that table there too. Maybe the teenager left it there, maybe one of the parents is into it. A travel-y looking fan, so different parts of the family are integrated throughout the whole house. I have trouble with this stand though, trying to get some things to fit on it nicely. I think that's why we eventually go with the camera, because it fits there nicely without looking like it's falling off. And now back to the entrance, because it was so blank, we needed definitely to touch it up. And here's where the piano goes, because it fits nicely under those stairs. But also, because then if you played it, it would reverberate throughout the whole house, and it would sound really cool. It might sound like a bit like a church organ almost, you know, where it echoes throughout. And it was really tricky finding a pattern for those stairs, so I think I just went with a very blank one, because it bends weirdly on the stairs. and so many colors on that rug that's down below. I didn't want to interfere with that too much. And we go with just that chest that's under the stairs for the shoes, and I add some extra shoes there. Not those ones, the little tiny custom content ones, and a purse to look like people just laid down their stuff there. Changing colors of things, updating the colors really to make it a little bit more crisp. And now to the outside. I wanted this part to be covered just to add to that old kind of vibe, because I feel like there's covered porches and patios on older houses, in this style at least, where there's the columns and the railings and stuff. But I leave it a little bit open by the kitchen door so that they have a place to go to take the garbage out. There's gonna be lots of flowers in this house too, and I think I keep them with the secondary color scheme that I was having in mind when I did the interior, because I mean, plants are green obviously, but I think the other focus colors are orange and purple, if I remember correctly. There's the little patio for their outdoor dining. It's gonna have a dining set, a little barbecue. There's not really too much going on outside because it wasn't a humongous lot, but also because I feel like this house, with everything growing up around it, maybe they had more on property, but it got taken away, or maybe another owner neglected it, and so they had it, you know, taken in by the city, being like, nah, you can't take care of all this, or something. I don't know. Do cities do that? I'm not a member of real life, apparently. I don't know these things. But yeah, some orange, and then the other flower has purple and yellow, so they go together. Oh, I added some pink. And there's some more purple, and then white is a neutral, so it goes with everything. But yeah, trying to stay with those same colors. And I make it very crowded to look like those plants have been growing there a long time. But it's not quite even either. It's not symmetrical, so they look a bit more like they've taken over their own thing. Because when things are very symmetrical, it looks like they've been very precisely planted and they just started growing, or it's a rather new landscaping development. But this one is one that's been around for a while. And now for the painting of the house. And this is the same stone as the fireplace, I'm pretty sure. And it's tricky to do because there's the 3 different pieces of the wall. It's a wall set, I think. So you had to do them all in their order. And then shingles, because shingles look nice and old, and I really like those shaker shingles. Whew, I had to slow down to say that one. And it goes nicely, I think, with the terracotta looking roof pieces. And then exterior lighting, because you want to see when you're outside or when you're driving past this house. And we're actually getting pretty close to the end of the build here. We're just gonna make some dark places dark, fix up some colors, do some last checks. But the screenshot should be coming pretty soon, just so you know. Just so you're prepared, because you need to be prepared, really. Oh, stop. Oh yes, the chandelier here, I wanted something that looked old-ish, but not too grand, because this is kind of a very modest house. Not house. So we go with that wheel thing, because it looks cool and rustic and old, but not too old. Here's the outdoor dining set, and we're gonna put a little barbecue there, something unobtrusive. Treehouse for the kid. There's some garbage and recycling. Retouching the mailbox a bit. But yeah, all that's left are some finishing touches and last checks, and after that are the screenshots, so I will let you enjoy those. Thanks for sticking around.